And I am your host, Brad Schmidt. Thanks for joining me here on The Schmidt Show today. We've got the live stream all fired up. If you want to join us over there on Twitter, on our YouTube channel, on our website, you can take a look at me. I had the wrong screen up there for a second, but I think we got her back up and running. I got the right way, and a lot to get to today, a lot to talk about today. There's a couple of things going on that I want to get to, and I've got one particular topic that I've got a lot of notes on, and I'm very frustrated about. So we'll talk about that. I'll explain that one to you. Of course, yesterday we talked a little bit about it, the testimony from Anthony Fauci, and I talked about how I was frustrated about how they have all these showboating and grandstanding hearings and things that they're not ever going to actually do anything about. So we'll get into that because that's the topic that I'm frustrated about today. Most recently, the latest round of hearings and testimony being given come from Merrick Garland. The Attorney General is being grilled, according to the various news articles and news outlets. He's being grilled about the weaponization of government and the weaponization of these various agencies. And again, let's be honest. Let's not pretend that this is anything other than what it is. Nothing's going to happen. Merrick Garland is not going to face any consequences for the weaponization of the Department of Justice. Nobody in the FBI is going to suffer any consequences for their weaponization against not just, this isn't even about Trump, right? Everybody, Trump was, the weaponization of the DOJ against Trump, but it's not even about that. It's about the weaponization of the various departments within the Department of Justice, or the agencies, I should say, within the Department of Justice, being weaponized against we the people. Donald Trump happens to be the face of it because he gets the high-profile trial in New York. He gets the high-profile trial in Georgia. He gets the high-profile trial about the top-secret documents and all of that. But these are the things that are being done to Americans. I've mentioned this book before a couple of times. Harvey Silvergate wrote it, 3 Felonies a Day. It is a book that you would all do well to read, because it would maybe open your eyes about what the federal government is doing. As I said the other day, and I read this, the subtitle of this book, How the Feds Target the Innocent. They do this intentionally. They go after the average American. We've been told, how many times have we been told over the last 5 years, since the beginning of the Trump administration and maybe even before that? How many times have we been told the greatest threat to American security is white supremacy groups? Right? That's what we were told under the Obama administration. We were told that under the Trump administration. The FBI, the leadership, the head honchos or whatever at Quantico in Virginia or wherever the FBI, Quantico's I think CIA, but whatever the headquarters of the FBI is. They come out and said the greatest threat to the security of the United States is these white supremacy groups. And we're all supposed to believe this or buy this hook, line, and sinker. Yes, white supremacy is inappropriate. Idiots that get into that kind of stuff and start spouting the nonsense that says that you're better than somebody else because of the color of your skin. Yeah, they're idiots, they're morons. They should be shamed and mocked and humiliated publicly. We should mock them and make fun of them and point and laugh so everybody knows how ridiculous and stupid they are. But let's not pretend that is the greatest threat to American liberty, as literally millions of people have poured across the southern border, undocumented, unchecked, and unverified, who and where they're coming from, who they are and where they're coming from. And pretend that the greatest threat is a bunch of hillbillies and rednecks in the deep south of Mississippi or somewhere in Zinc, Arkansas or something. Like, that's the greatest threat to the American Republic? Are you serious? This is the kind of they are using this nonsense of having Merrick Garland stand before Congress or sit before Congress and answer a bunch of questions about the weaponization of the DOJ and the various agencies. And the reality is these idiots have every ability to solve that problem, and they're not going to. Speaker Johnson came out and said he's got a three-part plan. A three-part plan to battle the weaponization of government. And his three-part plan is oversight, appropriations, and legislation. As if we're supposed to believe that those things are going to actually do anything. So first of all, oversight isn't working and it won't work. There's too many carve-outs for national security and black ops programs and top secret this and secret courts that and all of these things that we can't have oversight over them because they're doing secret work to protect us from the white supremacists and the terrorists. We can't have any oversight. They got to be able to do what they need to do to keep us safe. So we can just we can make a carve out for them. So there is no oversight because all of those programs that they give carve outs for because they're black ops, because they're top secret, because of whatever, all of those carve outs get used in all kinds of ways against the average American as our government spies on us. That was revealed by guys like Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden told us all of this stuff was going on. And not only did he tell us, but he revealed all of the programs in which they were using to do it. And all of them were originally started as, well, we got to go after the terrorists and we got to keep it top secret so the terrorists don't know we're watching them. And guess what? The FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the DIA, and all of these other federal agencies used all of those programs to do what? Spy on Americans. FBI agents and CIA agents and NSA agents and all the rest of them used all of those programs to do things like spying on their girlfriend, hacking into their ex-wives' computers, and surreptitiously watching their girlfriends and their neighbors and all kinds of other corrupt stuff. But yeah, it's about the keeping us safe from the white supremacists and the terrorists. Sure it is. So these jackbooted thugs up in Washington, D.C. have another sham hearing about how they're gonna stop the weaponization of the government. And in reality, what they're actually going to do is nothing. They have these Saturday Night Live skits masquerading as hearings for the sole purpose of ensuring these agencies are at their disposal when they're finally in charge. They're not actually going to do anything about this. They're not going to stop the weaponization of the government. They just want to make sure that you understand how angry they are about the Democrats weaponizing the government. But God forbid, if the Republicans ever get in charge, guess what we'll have? We'll have hearings by the Democrats about how the Republicans are weaponizing the government. It's like the student loan thing. Student loans are so terrible, we got to forgive these victims the millions and billions of dollars. And then keep allowing that very system that has victimized hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Americans to the tune of billions of dollars to continue. That's what this is about. Because one day the Republicans are going to need to be able to use the forgiveness of student loans to court their voters to buy some votes for them. They don't want to stop the student loan system. They don't want to stop the weaponization of government. They just want you to know they're angry about it and make sure it continues so when they finally get a hold of the reins, they'll be able to do the exact same thing for their own benefit. There's a whole lot more to this. And we'll talk a little bit more about Mike Johnson's three-part plan to do nothing and be stupid. But that's all coming up with more, and a little bit more about the Hunter Biden trial and some other things coming up. But stick with me. It's News Radio 102.9 KRN. The Schmidt Show will continue in just a few moments.